The following is a conversation between His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the poet Desmond O'Grady, recorded May 23rd, 1974, in Rome, Italy.
What about in Rome? What kind of... Do you think you're going... I mean, I was asking about problems with the police and getting permesso di soggiorno.
That problem is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes. Police sometimes harass us and they become later on tired and do not do anything. Arresting, they become tired.
They become tired.
Yes.
The system gives up. That's a marvelous solution. Because I'm feeling very tired of the system myself. So there's something wrong when the system is winning. So maybe you can give me some advice how to beat the system. Because I assure you, here in Rome...
But you Irish people, you are never tired to fight.
No. We've been fighting for 3,000 years.
I think the fighting is going on steady.
Very much so. Very badly. Very bad now. Very bad. Yes. What do you do about that? And that's a serious question. Is it more morally correct to be sitting here, for me to be sitting here?
You see, so long people will remain under the bodily concept of life, that I am this body. I am Irish, I am English, I am American, I am Italian. So long this misconception will go on, fight will go on. You see, Jashapu buddhi punapeti dhave, the person small bhav. That's like you cannot stop fighting between the dogs and cats. Why there is fighting? Because the dog is thinking I am dog. The cat is thinking I am cat. Similarly, if I think I am Irishman, I am Englishman, it is the same thing. As the dog is thinking I am dog. See, if I think I am Irishman, I am Englishman, I am no better than the dog. So we cannot stop the fighting between dogs. Similarly, so long people will remain in bodily concept of life, the fighting cannot be stopped.
Or does Mahatma Gandhi fighting in the House of Commons?
Yeah, that is also another dog-ism. Because there is no difference. Just try to understand. The dog is thinking I am dog. Why? Because he has got the body of a dog. Similarly, if I am thinking I am Indian, because I have got this body in the Indian soil, where is the difference? There is no difference.
Englishman thinks there is a difference.
Not anyone. The bodily concept of life is animalism. When you think that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, then there is peace. Otherwise there cannot be any peace. Saiva Gokha, the Vedic literature, it is described the person who is in the bodily concept of life is exactly like the cow and the ass. That means animal. So people have to transcend this qualitative conception of existence. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. You find this verse, find out this verse. Man chabba vicharini bhakti yogina ja sevate sagunan samati tan brahma bhuyaya.
Yes. 1426.
Yes.
Mam cha jo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati jaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Part 1.
This verse is a reply to Arjuna's third question. What is the means of attaining to the transcendental position? As explained before, the material world is acting under the spell of the modes of material nature. One should not be disturbed by the activities of the modes of nature. Instead of putting his consciousness into such activities, he may transfer his consciousness to Krishna activities. Krishna activities are known as Bhakti Yoga, always acting for Krishna. This includes not only Krishna, but his different plenary expansions, such as Rama and Narayana. He has innumerable expansions. One who is engaged in the service of any of the forms of Krishna or of his plenary expansions is considered to be transcendentally situated. One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge, and eternal. Such personalities of Godhead are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna or his plenary expansions with unfailing determination, although these modes of nature are very difficult to overcome, he can overcome them easily. This is already stated in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto Krishna at once surmounts the influence of the modes of material nature. To be in Krishna consciousness or in devotional service means to acquire the equality of Krishna. The Lord says that his nature is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, and the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme, as gold particles are part of a gold mine. Thus the living entity's spiritual position is as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of individuality continues, otherwise there is no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means that the Lord is there, the devotee is there, and the activity of exchange of love between the Lord and the devotee is there. Therefore the individuality of two persons is present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual person. Otherwise there is no meaning to Bhakti Yoga. If one is not situated in the same transcendental position with the Lord, one cannot serve the Supreme Lord. To be a personal assistant to a king, one must acquire the qualifications. Thus the qualification is to become Brahman, or freed from all material contamination. It is said in the Vedic literature, Brahmaiva san brahmapyeti. One can attain the Supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman. This means that one must qualitatively become one with Brahman. By the attainment of Brahman, one does not lose his eternal Brahman identity as the individual soul.
Brahma-bhuta prasannatma nasocati naphankali samasarveshu bhuteshu bhagavati lavati saram. Find out these words.
But that's true for, I think it's true for most of us who take ourselves seriously.
Just like in our society, we have got Americans, we have got Mexicans, Canadians, Indians, Christians, Jews, Mohammedans, but they are no longer Mohammedan, American, Christian or American. They are all servants of Krishna. And that is Brahma realization.
But that's giving a name also. It's also giving a name, isn't it?
Yes, name must be there.
A label.
Name must be there. But name, just like you are feeling as Irishman, but your name may be different from another Irishman. How do you feel that we are all Irishmen?
But that's the same.
Name may be different, that doesn't matter. But the quality can be one. That is required. So when acquires that quality, Krishnaic quality, then in spite of different names, that is called soham. One feels. The same example. in a nation, in a group, the names may be different, but because they feel nationally or religiously one, so that is one. Varieties may be different, but the object being one, that is one. What is that? Brahma Bhuta Prasanna.
Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashochiti Nakamshiti Samak Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madhvatim Bhavate Param. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Purport. Equality. Attains equality position. Yes, purport.
To the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma Bhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or the pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation called Brahma Bhuta, oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto Him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor, yet the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing to lament or desire. Since God is full, a living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He is just like a river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, he is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or gain because he is full in the service of the Lord. He has no desire for material enjoyment because he knows that every living entity is the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone as higher or someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and a devotee has nothing to do with the ephemeral appearances or disappearances. For him, stone and gold are of equal value. This is the Brahma Bhuta stage, and this stage is attained very easily by the pure devotee. In that stage of existence, the idea of becoming one with the Supreme Brahman and annihilating one's individuality becomes hellish, and the idea of attaining the heavenly kingdom becomes phantasmagoria, and the senses are like the broken serpent's teeth. As there is no fear of the serpent with broken teeth, so there is no fear from the senses when they are automatically controlled. The world is miserable for the materially infected person, but for a devotee the entire world is as good as Vaikuntha, or the spiritual sky. The highest personality in this material world is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. Such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who preached pure devotional service in this age.
Completely the opening again.
Purport?
Yeah.
To the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma Bhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word.
Okay. Is the Absolute internal or external?
Mm-hmm.
Is this...
The Absolute has no internal or external.
Yeah.
That is Absolute. If there is internal and external, it is not Absolute.
I don't mean in time, and I don't mean in space. I mean in time in the sense that one is born, one dies, etc. It is in one's own time, one's own Absolute, ultimately, the Absolute that one finds.
No, we are not Absolute
for oneself.
When we are situated in the Absolute platform, then we are Absolute. Now we are in the relative world. Here there is absolutism, but the sense is not so elevated to understand the absolutism. So long we are under the control of time, there is no question of becoming absolute.
So therefore there is a life beyond time.
That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma me dibbam jujanati tattvata tattati ham punarjanma naiti mameti kaunteya. Find out this verse.
Chapter 4, text 9. Janama karma chame divyam evam jo veti tattvataha yattva deham punarjanama naiti mameti sorjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
And that is also when he goes back to home, back to God, and that is it. So long he is in the material world, changing body, transmigrating from one body to another. That is not absolute plane, that is the duality plane. Dualism. When you go back to home, back to the spiritual world, that is absolute.
He goes back to his original.
Huh?
When he goes back to his original.
Yes. Thank you very much. That is position. That is absolute.
So you don't find it possible to achieve any absolute condition in our time.
No. In the material world it is not possible. This is the world of duality. Therefore, so many different varieties of unity is suggested, and they are all failure. Just like when we are students, 1917, so there was League of Nations, and that is, after that again there was war.
President of the United
And then now they have manufactured United Nations. But for the last 20 years or more than that, they are endeavoring to be united. But when I go to New York, I see flags are increasing. No unity, disunity. And war is going on.
But supposing you think that you are neither an Irishman nor an Englishman or an American nor a Christian or a Jew nor anything.
Yes, that is negation.
I am
And you must say also what you are.
I am a mortal human being.
Huh?
A mortal human being, member of the animal.
No human being is immortal.
Mortal. That which dies, rots and is forgotten.
That is some conception, mortality. Mortal? So mortality is not absolute. So long you are mortal, you are not on the absolute platform, because you are actually immortal. That is stated in Bhagavad. Najayate namriyati va kadachi, find out. Najayate namriyati va kadachi.
But is there anything wrong with accepting the fact that you are mortal, you die, you rot, and you become nothing?
That is the polluted conception. Actually, you are immortal, you do not die. That is your position. Is this one?
Najayate mriyate va kadachanayam bhutva bhavita va nabhuyaha ajo nityak shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane shuryare. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
That is the position of the soul. So when there is mortality, that is not perfect stage. When he attains the stage of, again, immortality, because actually he is immortal.
Actuality is immortal.
Yes.
Not that. Because actuality has to do with effect.
Yes. The actuality is immortal. He never takes birth.
Never takes birth. It takes place. True. But immortality, I mean actuality, of course, has to do with the actuality of this situation that we have right now. With you sitting there, and we as friends sitting with you, and engaging in gentle art conversation.
Actually, just like you are sitting in a different dress, I am sitting in a different dress. So, the dress does not affect our actuality. We are a human being. So, similarly, the conception of body, I am Irishman, I am Englishman, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian. These are different dresses. So one has to become free from these designations.
Acceptable.
So when one is free from the designation, then he becomes purified. Sarvapadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti. So when we become purified, our senses are purified, and when the purified senses are engaged in the service of the master of the senses, that is perfect life. That is non-duality, absolute.
That can be experienced in the present.
Yes, by Krishna consciousness. And practically, you are coming from different groups, Americans, Indians, Africans, but you don't think yourself as American or Indian or African.
The system insists that you do. The system expects that you do.
So the world as it is, the world as it is, society, materialistic society, puts these
materialistic society means duality. And
materialistic society means duality.
Duality.
But that's unavoidable. It's unavoidable. There's the duality of your physical existence
unavoidable, yes.
and your personal spiritual existence. Unavoidable.
But it can be avoided in Krishna consciousness. Just like the leaf of lily, it is in the water, but it does not touch the water.
I didn't catch that last expression.
lily leaf. Lily leaf. To show how we can live in this world but still be transcendental. There's a lily leaf that sits on the water, and even though it sits on the water, it doesn't get wet.
Yes.
To become actually Christ conscious means God conscious.
God, exactly. To become God conscious means
Krishna conscious.
become self-conscious.
Yes.
Be conscious of who you are yourself.
Yes. But God consciousness includes self-consciousness. But self-consciousness is not God consciousness. God consciousness includes self-consciousness.
Yes,
But self-consciousness is not God consciousness.
But it may be. It may be.
No.
You may achieve recognition of the God in yourself.
When you are God conscious,
without being pantheistic.
just like if you come in front of the sun light, the sun consciousness is there, which includes your personal consciousness. You also see in the darkness you cannot see. At night you do not see even your hands and legs. But if you come in front of the sun or light, then you see the sun and see yourself. So without the sunlight, without God consciousness, self-consciousness is incomplete. But God consciousness makes self-consciousness very clear.
Well, a lot of young people that we meet in our teaching profession. And we don't try to teach them any kind of didactic salvation, but we do try to direct them towards an awareness of what is best and what is most beautiful and what is most spiritually nourishing in the world about them, insofar as the system allows us. I speak of my friend Michael and we here. And the one condition or emotional state, because very frequently the students are not mature enough to be in a spiritual condition. They are an emotional condition particularly, rather than a spiritual one. What we are faced with is the basic question of who am I?
Yes.
What is it all about?
Yes.
Why am I here?
Yes.
Why should I be here? Who are you? And who the hell are you to tell me what to think or what to read or what not to read? Why should I read Shakespeare? Or why should I read St. Augustine? Or why should I listen to Mozart? I prefer Bob Dylan. And these kind of questions, which seem to emanate from a very disillusioned state of mind, an insecurity, an uncertainty, and a lack of credibility in the total structure of things as they are. And so we're frequently faced with not just directly having to answer these questions, as I say, didactically answering by saying in a catechismic sort of way, who am I, you are, what am I doing here, you are doing this here, and so on, which one can do, of course, also. And so, rather than present the kind of answers that one could present if one was trained in oneself originally, and one is first of all trained, then one has to untrain oneself, and then one trains oneself from that experience, basically. This is my way of seeing it. And then one tries to help others go through the same process. Do you think that we should tell them more directly, or I mean, the basic question is how do you handle the problem of modern education?
Yes.
That's the basic.
Our Vedic process is, there are so many questions, as we have already explained. Somebody thinks, why I have come here? What is the purpose? What you are? So many questions. Questions should be answered by the perfect. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is tad vijnanatham sa gurumeva avigachet. In order to take answers of all these questions, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master.
One must
Approach the bona fide spiritual master.
approach
Yes.
the bona fide spiritual master. If you have none, what do you do?
No, there
If
is.
you are told that Mr. Nixon is the bona fide spiritual master, what do you do? If you are told that Mr. Nixon is the bona fide spiritual master,
No, we have
then what do you do?
got standard. The bona fide spiritual master, just like the one line, you have heard only one line. That bona fide spiritual master, you must approach the bona fide spiritual master. But who is bona fide spiritual master? Then the next question. That is also answer. There, bona fide spiritual master means tad vijnanatham sa gurumeva avigachet srotriyam brahmanishtam. This is the qualification of bona fide spiritual master. What is that? Srotriyam. Srotriyam means who has heard from the bona fide spiritual master. A bona fide spiritual master is he who has taken the message from bona fide spiritual master. This is So just like a medical man is he who has taken the knowledge of medical science from another medical man.
Just like Christ took this knowledge from the Holy Ghost.
Yes, anyone. Yes. Similarly, bona fide spiritual master means who is in the line of successive spiritual master. The original spiritual master is God. Then one who has heard from God and he has explained the same message to his disciple, then the disciple is bona fide spiritual master. If he does not change, that is our process. We take lessons. We hear from Krishna, who is the perfect God. And that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara praptam imam raja sayo vidu.
But then you see, my poor old father, living in west of Ireland, a simple man, he at his age, 70 now, your generation, he had got to the point at his age where he says, when they tell me, the priests, they tell me, ultimately it's God knows. But I want to know who told God.
No.
And then he turns to me and asks me and says, you went to school and you read the books, tell me who told God.
Yes.
And so I have no answer.
That is the difference between God and me.
That's the difference between being 70 and 30.
No, there is no question. That is explained in that Bhagavad and Brahma Sutra. Who is God? Astam. Who is God?
Who told God?
No. I told who is God, then we shall ask who told God. That God, that is the Vedanta Sutra, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Now we should inquire about God. What is God? Who is God? Unless you know who is God, how can I raise the question who is instructed God? If you do not know God, then the question does not arise. Who is instructed God? Is it not? Yes. So, therefore God is explained in the Brahma Sutra. Janmadasya jataha. God is He from everything comes, emanates. That is God. That God is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadasya jataha. The Supreme Being from whom everything emanates. Now, what is that Supreme Being? What is the nature of the Supreme Being? It is a dead stone or a living being. And that is also explained. Janmadasya jataha annayat itaratascha artheshu avijñā sarat. That God is fully cognizant of everything, directly and indirectly. Unless he is fully cognizant of everything, directly and indirectly, he is not God. So, then the same question comes, as you say, then who taught God?
Yeah, that's the way I want to be.
That is the answer, Sarat. Independent. There is God. Independent. He is fully independent. He does not require to take lessons from anyone. That is God. That is God. If anyone requires to take lesson from other, he is not God. Who does not require to take lesson from other, that is God.
Where does human love enter into it?
Everything is there because love is also coming from God. So maybe we are being part and parcel of God. There is part and parcel manifestation of love. Because the original love is there in God. Because nothing can exist. Nothing can exist if it is not in God.
Therefore, in love.
Love is also there in God.
God is not love.
God is love. God is everything.
Oh yeah. And love is God.
Yes.
And manifestations of love are manifestations of God.
Because we are part and parcel, just like a father born of a particular, son born of a particular father, he has got the symptoms. So, because there is loving propensity in God, and we being part and parcel of God, therefore we have got this loving propensity. This is the complete. Unless the loving propensity is there in God, where do you get it?
Maybe it's generated in you by the need.
No, there is no question of maybe. It must be, must be.
Yes, I withdraw the word maybe.
Yes. There is no question because we have defined God, Janmadasya Gataha. God is He, where from everything emanates. That is God. So, love or even fight. The fighting propensity is also there in God. And loving propensity is also there in God. But his fighting propensity and loving propensity absolute. Just like in the material world, we have got experience. Fighting propensity is just opposite the loving propensity. But in God, either fighting propensity or loving propensity, they are one and the same. Therefore, he is absolute. That is the meaning of absolute. Just like we get from Shastras, the so-called enemies of God, who is killed by God, he also attains perfection.
The vengeful.
Eh?
Yes, but that I understand.
Yeah.
The avenging God of biblical imagination as against it. Is it possible to do it all alone?
Eh?
Is it possible to do it all on your own? Alone?
No. Therefore the Vedas said, Tadvijnanatham sa gurumeva abhigachet. Abhigachet means he must. It is not possible alone. This word, this abhigachet, this verb is used in Sanskrit grammar. This is called vidhiling form of bhar. So vidhiling form of bhar is used when there is the matter is a must. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva avigachet. Samipani srotyam. And that is the Vedic verse. Therefore, you have read Bhagavad Gita. You will find Arjuna was talking with Krishna. Then, when the things were not solved, perplexed, Arjuna surrendered himself. Shishasti aham sadhimam prapannam. Find out this verse.
Text 7. Karpanya doshopahatas svabhava prishchami tvam dharma samudhachetaha yachtrayasya nishchitam bruhitan me kisishyashteham shadimam tvam prapanam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness.
Confused.
I am frustrated. Yeah, confused about my duty. That's one thing. Right?
And have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am...
Is this duty to the self, or duty to others, or duty to the state?
He is confused because he is a Kshatriya, soldier. A soldier's duty is to fight with the enemy. So Krishna was advising him, the opposite party is your enemy. You are a Kshatriya. Why you are trying to become not violent? This is not good. Therefore, he said, actually I am now confused. So, in confusion, I cannot take the right conclusion. I therefore accept you as my spiritual master. It just gave me the proper lesson. This is it. So they were friends. Still he was confused. So in chaotic condition, in confusion state of life, we must approach the person who is in full knowledge of the thing. Just like we go to a lawyer, we go to a physician. Yes. Similarly, every one of us in the material world, we are confused. Therefore we must go to the spiritual master who can give us real knowledge.
So, therefore, for example, I am very confused. You're very confused.
Yes. So you must approach a spiritual master.
And you make a decision, therefore, to try to sort this confusion.
Yes.
Make some
Spiritual master means who solves all confusion. That is spiritual. When one is confused, he goes to a spiritual master, and the spiritual master's duty is to save him from all confusion. That is the relationship between spiritual master and the disciple. If the spiritual master cannot save him from confusion, then he is not spiritual master. That is the test. Samsara dava nalalila loka trana karna ganaganatam. Praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya mandi gurasri charana. This whole world is confusion. Just like a blazing fire in the forest. When there is forest fire, all the animals become confused. Where to go, how to save life. It's a very good example. When there is fire in the forest, all the animals become confused. Similarly, this material world is just like a blazing fire in the forest. Everyone is confused. Now, how the blazing fire in the forest can be extinguished? You cannot take there your man-made fire brigade. There is nothing. Neither bucket full of water. So, in this confused state of the human society, you cannot manufacture the solution. The only solution is that when there is rain from the cloud on the forest fire, then it is extinguished. That is not in your hand, that is mercy of God. So spiritual master means who has received the mercy of God and he can deliver to the confused man, then the solution. This is a very good verse. Samsara dhavan nalavira loka pranaya karana khanaganatyam praptas. One who has received mercy of God, he can become spiritual master. He can deliver the mercy of God.
A friend. A friend, for example.
Yes.
Real friend.
No, one says a friend, that's tautology. A friend is a friend. So question is
Through well-vision. Through well-vision.
no question being a half-real friend or an unreal friend. A friend is a friend. Tautologically speaking.
Yes, the best friend is the spiritual master because he saves from the blazing fire of confusion. That is best friend.
The problem is to find this friend. The problem is to find this spiritual master.
No, there is no problem. The problem is if you are sincere.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That is stated because actually you have got problems, but God is within your heart. Ishara sarvabhutana viddesha arjuna tishthati. God is not far away. God is within your heart. So if you are sincere, then God will give you spiritual master. If He knows that now you are sincere, then He will give you spiritual master.
Okay. That I know.
Therefore God is called Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within the heart. And the physical spiritual master is God's mercy. If God sees that you are sincere, He will give you a spiritual master who can give you protection. He will help you from within and without. Without in the physical form of spiritual master and within as the spiritual master within the heart. That is stated. Ishara sarvabhutanam viddesha arjuna tishtati brahmain sarvabhutani jantrarurani maya. All our questions are answered in the Bhagavad Gita. Very nice.
Ishvarak sarvabhutanam hriddeshi arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantradrudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated on a machine, who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy.
The body is just like a machine, and the spirit soul is sitting on this machine, and God is there within the heart. So He is giving the direction. You wanted to do this, now go and do this. This is so if you are sincere, now God, I want you, then He will give you direction. You go and get it. This is the problem. But if you wanted something else than God, then God will give you direction. You go and take it. It is very kind. Ishvara Sarva, I want to have something, and He is within my heart, and He is giving me, yes, you come here, you take this. So God can give direction to give you indication, you go and take that. Why not the spiritual master?